Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Bridge Builders of Diversity, where we're bridging the gap between the typical community and the disability community. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sherry. I'm a mother of a child with Down syndrome, and he also has healthcare needs as well. So I wanted to talk about this article that I came across in Psychology Today, and I'll put a link to the description down in the comment section. Not the comment section, in the description section. And the title of it is Empathy of Parents of Special Needs Children, Coping and Help. So I like some of his points, and I also disagree with some of them too, but you know, that's cool. It's what we're all about, right? Is being open-minded to see other people's points of views. So he has this list. Well, let me give you a little backstory. Him and his partner, I don't remember his name, but I will link the article in the description section. Him and his partner had adopted a child, and they were told that the child was a completely healthy child, but the child ended up having mental health issues, and caused a lot of challenging behaviors for him and his partner. So he talks about there's 7 different main points that he talks about. Parents of some at some point resent their children, their special needs children. I know parents go through a process of accepting their children, and I think with any child, even a typical child, I think parents at certain points, even if your typical child does something crazy, you might have some resentment at some point, but it's how we deal with it when we're presented with anything in our lives. And I don't want to discount typical children, because they come with their own sets of worries for parents. They're just very different worries. You know, I worry more about my special needs child health. That's a bigger concern. My typical child who's out in the world, going to college, I worry about his safety. So, you know, you get it, everything's in perspective of that. So I don't want to negate what parents go through with their typical children. And even like in my town, we had a young man who played hockey, very healthy, typical kid, and he became paralyzed in a hockey game. And now he's paralyzed from the neck down. So those things can happen on a dime. Any of us can become part of the disability community. Just remember that, okay? That's why it's so important to bridge this gap between the typical and the special needs community, because the disability community is a community anybody can become a part of, like that, because your health can change. You can have a stroke, an accident, anything, to become part of that community, and it is not discriminatory. So his second point is moods of parents of special needs kids can suffer in a major way because the daily home environment can be so demanding. Possibly, but I know parents who have typical kids who are giving them a run for their money as well. It may be different. You know, if you have a teenager who's giving you a hard time, well, they may be able to go out on Friday night with their friends and you can have a break. Your special needs child, you have to have somebody who's very competent to watch over them, who can handle their healthcare needs and their behaviors or whatever. But again, they may be different, but I think both children can come with very major concerns for parents. His third one is you get angry and unleash your frustration on people who don't deserve it. I think anybody who's in a bad place in their life can present themselves that way. That's why it's so important for us to take care of ourselves, making sure you're getting out for that walk, whatever that little special thing is you like, whether it's going to get a cup of coffee with with your friend, or dad going to play a game of golf with some friends. You know, and if you're in a two-parent household, you may be able to switch off so you can each get a good night's sleep, or that free time, or even just alone time. So you have somebody you trust with your child, and you know, you can get that time by yourself. So it's very important to strategize and come up with plans and people who you can trust with your child, so you can get that time alone, so you can come out into the world a better person and more put together and not tired and stuff like that. Number 4, your romantic relationships can suffer. I think that can be true about any relationship if you don't put the time in. There was a psychologist I was watching once, and to keep a relationship fresh and new, you only need 90 minutes a week. That's going out to dinner and a movie or something. It's not that much time to keep your connection together. So if you can have somebody watch your child for 90 minutes, go out and get a bite to eat, coffee, go for a walk, so you can just talk about you guys. So, you know, there's things we can do to manage these things. You know, and I've seen typical kids go down the wrong path and damage parents' relationships, or unfortunate accidents and stuff like that. So, you know, it's all in how we manage our lives and our priorities and being organized. And I know not everybody is, but the more we try, the better it'll be. This one I definitely agree with. You figure out who your friends are very quickly when you have a special needs child. Family, friends, work, because it brings out the darkness in people. I'll just say that, just to keep peace with people I know. You know, that's where boundaries become very important with people. You know, you don't have to cut people completely out of your life, but you don't have to spend every weekend with them either. So you can create boundaries to keep yourself safe from, we'll call them toxic family members who are not very supportive of your special needs child. All right, number 6. Your memory can be off. Yeah. In also, this is well documented too with research, that parents of special needs children get sicker more frequently. That's because I think we're not taking good care of ourselves. That's why it's very important to make time to get out, relax, even if it's reading a book on your back porch. Make time to take that time for your own health and well-being. It's very important, okay? Number 7. The confusion about understanding your child. You can spend a lot of time, like I spent a lot of time researching this new diagnosis, and fortunately I do understand medical terminology and stuff like that. So, you know, depending on what your niche is, but I've always had a niche for medical stuff. I've taken some medical classes like chemistry, biology, physiology, all that kind of stuff. So I do understand it. So it makes it easier when I'm reading the research on this new diagnosis. So, but you know, today, modern time, you can Google anything and find it in a format that you understand. So that's very important. So just keep digging until you find an article that makes sense to you, because everybody writes differently. You can also YouTube it. Almost every diagnosis is on YouTube as well. So don't be afraid to go Google, try YouTube, whatever, so you can understand your child's diagnosis. All right, so in my conclusion, I liked the article. I thought it was very thought-provoking. That's why I wanted to talk about it. But I think the worry can be different for your typical child or your special needs children. They're just different worries. You know, like I said with my son, I worry about his health. I worry about him getting a major infection from one of these boils or whatever. So that's a real concern. My other son, I worry about his safety. He's out in the world. Our world's a little crazy right now, so I worry about his safety. But he's very good about letting me know he's arrived safely, he's on his way home and everything. So he gives me peace of mind. So I know he's on his way home and I can expect him. So he's a very thoughtful young man. But that's the type of relationship I wanted to have with my son, and that's the one I created with him. So again, make time for yourself so you keep yourself healthy and taking care of our special needs babies. All right, we appreciate you all. Roberta will be back soon. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate it if you could all like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Help our algorithm out. Help us get our message out there to the world so we can bridge this gap between the typical community and the disability community. And I will also put our TED Talk in the description below as well. And be somewhere along the video that you can click on it so you can see me and Roberta's TED Talk. All right, appreciate you all. Love you all. Have a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye.